So I'm doing some iPhone repairs. I've already done a whole bunch of it because I didn't want to be distracted by recording with the video camera here, because that does tend to make me make mistakes because I'm too busy thinking about what I'm doing. So what I've actually done so far is I've actually got two iPhones here. This one here has got a really beaten up chassis, but it had a good logic board in it which is working and functional. At least I believe it is. It's what I've been able to test was working. And this other chassis here, which is a good chassis, which had a completely smashed up screen, which is actually, this was on here now. That is a locked iPhone, iCloud locked thing, and it's a like insurance repair thing, or insurance claim. So what I've done is I've swapped the logic boards over between the two units and put the good logic board in the good chassis. The good logic board came with this screen and everything on it, and I need to swap all this over onto a new screen because obviously this one's broken. I've kept the original home button and everything with the locked phone, although the home button didn't seem to work anyway, but you know, I sort of like to keep things together, and I kept the original home button with the other one here, you know, because that can be important. So what I actually need to do now is transfer everything from the old screen onto the new screen here. It's a reasonable screen, it's not the top quality ones. The really good ones have already got parts already fitted in here, some of the plastic's already in there, and this doesn't have that. See, this is for 6, not 6S. I should say this is 6S I'm working on. This is for 6, which arrived today, for 6 which I've got sitting on a shelf up here waiting for a new screen. So this 6 has actually got all the bits already on the back here. So you can see I've got these little plastic pieces in here already. Alright, it's all ready to go. So you don't have to mess around as much. It's a bit less fiddly and it's just easy. Slightly nicer to have a phone which has already got those bits in it. Alright, so the idea is obviously I've got to replicate basically moving everything into that case. And I'll do the 6 later on once I've actually got the other phone ready to go. I just want to get this one done first. How's that for an intro? Let's fix the screen and get the thing on here and hopefully it works. So what we've got to do is take this metal plate off this screen, fit it on this one, and we've also got the camera assembly and everything up here as well to take off. So we need to take the bit off first. So I'll do that. Don't mix the screws up. So I tend to lay them out in the way they come off. Let's try and get you out of shot, it'd be quite nice too. There's a little shield, and there's all this assembly up here. Now luckily the actual inserts are stuck to this piece, so I can just take the whole lot in one go hopefully. That'd be quite nice. If it will stay together. I guess we'll find out. So let's try and peel this off. They've got the little light sensor in here as well. So that goes over here. We've got this blue tape in here. I've got to take this off. Microphone, everything, all in here. That's got to come out. So let's get my tweezers, and we'll try and get this out of here. Now it sort of sits in place. It's going to be a bit hard to get a shot of this, but I might have to use a little heat to get it out a bit easier. Sometimes it come out alright. No, it's moving around alright, so it might be okay. There we go. Popped out. Nice, that's that part. And it's already got the lenses on it, so that's good. I don't have to mess around with those. I can just pop the whole thing straight back in again. No hassle, so that's good. Now I've got to get this metal frame here off and the home button. Now the home button comes off after the metal frame. We'll get this frame off first. There's a screw missing there. All these screws are the same, so it doesn't matter. I'll mix these ones up. It's a bit annoying when you get missing screws, but oh well. I wonder where it's gone. That was missing as well. 2 missing screws. And they've got this bottom one here. Get off. Which might be different, so I'll keep it slightly separate. I've also got these home button ones. I might just get these out now while I'm at it. Down there. Down there. Home button goes underneath the shield, so mustn't forget that. Okay, so there's all that assembly there, so I'll have to get the home button out, put it into the other one without damaging it. because that's always a little bit fun. There we go. That's popped off. Just there. This is actually like glued down here too. I've got to try and ease this up. There we go. And we'll get the button out. So I think I'll do that before I take this housing off. Oh, I'll just take the housing off actually. It's already off. There we go. So I'll get this button out. Sometimes they will just lift out quite nicely. Sometimes you have to use a little bit of heat. So let's just gently pry it up. Here we go. Main thing is to be really careful of the flexors and stuff like that. And don't force anything. This has got the adhesive coming up with it, which could be quite good actually. Maybe. Yeah, okay, there's that part. And it's got this bit here, which I'm puzzled by, because it's not part of the button. Anyway, we'll leave that bit off. So I'll refit this into this one. We drop it in. Right, so you've got some little locating pins on this board here, so you get that pin in and that pin there. Right, so when they're in, then at least you know the board is in the right place. So let's push it back over again, hold that down. And also you've got to also attach onto this piece just here as well. So adhesive would be nice, but anyway, let's pop that down. I think that's gone on. It has. So now let's push this home button into place. Hopefully there's enough residual adhesive to do the job. Let's run around the edge. Like that. Okay, so that should actually be okay. Right. Fingers crossed anyway. Now that should be everything I need to take off this screen. You notice there's some differences between them. You know, this slightly different but very similar. Okay, so we've got to do a couple of things here. We've got to take this red film off. This is supposed to come off. And so is that bit of tape. It's on here. Like that. Now we can put this back panel on. Well, I actually make it so you take this off, I don't know, but anyway, they do. Wish I just kept it on the phone, it'd be a bit easier. Now this isn't quite sitting right here, is it? No. Right, that's that there. It's actually like another missing screw from up there as well, so it's got a few screws that are missing from this thing, which is kind of irritating. Let's pop this home button thing back in. It goes under the shield. Like that. Hopefully I'm in shot. This one there. And this one here. It's got some little locating pins on there as well to make sure it's in the right place. Basically just reversing what I just did to get it apart. Put this one in and I go and do the side screws, which is a shame because I've got some missing ones. So. Oops, come on, get in there. There we go. So having missing screws is something I really don't like. So what I've done is I'm going to leave the middle one and do those two furthest extremities because that makes a bit more sense from a mechanical perspective. I'd prefer not to do it all, but yeah. I do have that broken phone, maybe I could nick the screen off that. dig a couple of screws out of that one. It's an option. Anyway, that's those in there like that. Okay. Oh, I should have done that one, shouldn't I? Let's change this one. Let's move it to this one here. Okay, so that bit done. Right, so button clicks, that's good. That's that part. So now we need to reassemble the top piece with missing screws. Anyway, the other thing you've got to be careful about is the actual sequence you put these ribbons in, these flexes. So we've got to do a couple of things here. We've got to peel this little strip off here. There's adhesive. So I can glue the microphone piece back in. There you go. And there has to be aligned, so you've got the little hole there. That has to match up with this. Otherwise you won't get any audio from that. So it's kind of important. Now there is a little locating pin on here. Just there is a pin, you can just see it there. So I'll get onto that bit. Right, now then that will locate it, and I should just be able to pop the rest of it in place. And hopefully it will be okay. Just make sure the cameras are clean. Everything looks alright, it does. So we'll line this up, get it on that little pin, push it down. Done. And then we have to do the same with these. Now these ribbons have to be in a certain sequence, and I believe it's actually got to be underneath. So it goes like that. Okay. Let's pop these back down. Try and get them in place. Again, this is all very fiddly. Get the sensor in place here, then that assembly there in place. Come on, don't be awkward. This has to obviously pop down as well. Come on, here we go. That. Get it all straight, and it should just go together once it's all straight. That's in there. It's not lined up right yet. It's all basically done by little pins everywhere, right? So there's 2 pins on here as well. Alright, so that's kind of in place now. That's in. So now to get the plate back on the top of that and make sure that all the pins are still in like they're supposed to be. I hate all this fiddly stuff, but you know, it is what it is. It's kind of in place there, I think. Yep. Let's get a screw in. Let's go for the middle one. May notice I'm using my Pomona screwdriver. Thanks very much Fluke for sending these to me, at no cost. Quite enjoying the screwdriver. Actually, it's a really good fit on these screws. Works really well. And obviously, slightly magnetic. Right, that's that. So hopefully I've got all these ribbons in the right places and they'll actually fold over like they're supposed to. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Alright, so that should be right. Otherwise I might have to change this around. I can't which around it actually goes. I always forget. Always. It could be the other way. Anyway, you get the idea, don't you? Actually no, that one does go on top. I'm just checking the lengths because the narrow one has to go further, so that lays on top of the wider one. Okay, so that does have to go on the other side of that one. But that's fine. It's not exactly a problem just to tuck it around like that. Okay, but that's why it's important to actually make sure you get those right. Okay, so that one there needs to go into here. That one doesn't seem right. It might be why it's sitting. Oh no, it's sitting down there. Okay, that's right. So now we get this. You can't see now too well, can you? Alright, so it's those two. Now I've got this one here on as well. And once I get that down, that's popped in nicely, we can power it up and see what actually goes on there. See if it works. So let's pop this on. Get to line up. See somewhere. There we go. Get the hair out. It's always a cat hair, always. So we'll just drop it in roughly the right place for now. Obviously there's no shields on there yet. See if it powers up and see if it works. Okay, we've got that far. We have that much. Let's see if it keeps on going. Now, because I've still got this film on here, the button's a bit hard to push because it's held up by the film. So, passcode, what did I make that? Hold on. Well, touch is working. Hey, unlocked. Alright, so that's good. And for a second there it said 9:21. Anyway, yes, it's 9:48 PM. Alright, so we have touch. That's all working. Obviously the screen's working. Check camera. We should do that, shouldn't we? Check, make sure both cameras are working. It's not. Other camera. This camera's working. Back camera is not currently working, so maybe I've got something wrong there somewhere. Okay. That camera was working before, so I need to look into that. Which is why you test these things. Alright, so okay, we'll shut it back down again and look at that camera and figure out what's not seated properly. So obviously something's not quite lined up right. Probably a little bracket and everything that's in there, bit of a pain. So the camera part I was looking at, should have recorded it but I forgot, is just here. So there's the camera here and there's a connector for it there. This is the camera which isn't working, it's a rear camera. Now the reason that's probably changed is because, say, I've swapped this board out between the chassis, so I've had to strip out all of this inside here. Right, take all this assembly out and then move it over, so that may not have been seated correctly, so we'll have another look anyway. I also have a spare camera in the other phone which is broken, so you know, if this one doesn't work now for some reason, then I can always swap the other one in for some reason. But yeah, it should be okay, unless maybe I've damaged the connector and I've been lifting it off in the first place, but hopefully reseating it will do the job. We'll try it again, we'll plug it back in and see if it goes now. Let's try it again. Oh, plug the phone back in, actual battery, otherwise it won't work. Battery back in, there we go. Now we'll try it again. Just lock it in place properly. Right. Fingers crossed it's this time. Yeah, it's the way you test things. You don't assume it works because it worked the first time. Right, cameras again. There we go. Now it's working. Reseating it did the job. Oh look, it's my merch. And check the front camera again. That's all good. Right. Happy. That's fixed. Obviously home button works. I don't know about Touch ID on this thing. I haven't tried setting it up. Actually I should try setting it up. Let's have a look. Let's peel this film off. Don't need that now. Mobile's got no SIM card on it, so that's fine. Touch ID passcode. Let's try this. Add a fingerprint. Cool. So that is working. Touch ID is working. Excellent. So that is a functional phone out of two broken ones. That's not bad, is it? So thanks for watching. I'll put it back together later. You don't see me put a couple of screws back in it, do you? Put the shields back in, that sort of stuff. With these shields though, do be careful because they are different length screws. They do go in certain spots. Don't get it mixed up. Although from putting the other phone apart and stripping it out, I do have one spare screw left over. I have to make sure I don't get them mixed up. But yeah, so we've got 4 screws here for that shield of the correct length to do in the pattern they're supposed to be in, and 2 screws for the battery shield. So That's good. That's working. So all I need to do, the only thing I have to do actually to do final testing is put a SIM card in it. I hope that bit works. That'd be annoying if it doesn't. Anyway, yes, one working phone. Give us a thumbs up if you like that. Oh, no. Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like that. Subscribe if you like these kinds of videos, you know, Apple repairs or any kind of repair videos, stuff like that. Sorry about the messy desk, I'm trying to do a few things at once. And I'll catch you next one. Check out the videos at the end. In the playlist at the end, you've got Apple playlists and things like that, and general repairs and whatever. Just check those videos out at the end. Have a look at them. And I'll catch you later. Any questions or anything? Chuck them down in the comments down below. Bye.